Welcome back to Run Thoughts Podcast. Episode number 2, I have my brother, Levi. Say hi, Levi.
Hi, Levi.
I'm keeping that in, otherwise we're never going to start the actual thing.
We'll just do one more cut.
Okay. Well, now we got the song in the background.
You need to get copyrighted.
Okay. Okay. Welcome back to Run Thoughts Podcast, episode number 2. I just got some new lights, so I wanted to test them out with a podcast style setup. And today's guest, the first guest, is my brother, Levi. And today on the podcast, we're going to talk about running and thoughts that we have while running. More specifically, stop laughing. More specifically, thoughts about getting back into running, because Levi is not necessarily a beginner, but he has a cycle where he likes to get into and then out of running. So
I don't like it.
Okay.
I just do it.
Yeah. All right. So
Are you going to say the name of the podcast yet?
I already did. It's
No, you
called
didn't.
Run Thoughts.
You said we're going to talk about running.
No, I already said welcome back to Run Thoughts.
Okay.
All right. So, who are you? Give me your little spiel. Who are you? How long have you been running?
I don't remember. I don't remember how long I've been running. Probably I think since 2020 only. I ran before, but I only started seriously in 2020 because this is really weird looking you in the eyes and talking to you
Just
about
look at
this.
me. Just look. You don't have to look at me in the eyes.
I'm looking at this spot right here.
Give me my eye line.
I am.
Tell me why you started running.
So back in 2020, I was feeling down a lot.
What?
It got really silent. Why did you pick this spot?
I don't. It's because it's a long table.
like it. Okay.
It's a podcast table.
All right, restart that. So back in 2020, so back in
All right. Wait. So Levi. So Levi, why did you start running? Oh, wait.
podcasts are hard.
Hold on.
It's supposed to be one take, like Joe Rogan.
Because I didn't have anything prepared. Okay, my phone's about to die too. So, Levi, tell us who you are, or tell them who you are, why you started running, when you started running, even if you like running.
I'm fat right now.
Okay.
Back in 2020, I was feeling depressed, and I decided that I needed to do something hard, and so I figured the easiest hard thing to do would be train for a half marathon. And I had run before, but not any real distance. And then I just figured I would start running and train for a half marathon. I needed a hard reset. I thought I got to do something hard that I don't think that I can do. So I gave myself 12 weeks and said, in 12 weeks, I'm going to run a marathon or a half marathon. And it actually,
Marathon, half marathon.
It actually ended up being a little bit more than 12 weeks. And then I ran probably one of the hardest ones you can run around here. God, it sucked. 2 hours though. Well, it was
Yes,
2 hours.
2 hours.
That was my goal, was to run a half
Your
marathon.
your
in
watch
2 hours.
said 2 hours at 13.1. So we're gonna count it.
I ran a half marathon in 2 hours.
Which one was that?
Youngstown half marathon.
The worst half marathon ever
Well,
to exist ever.
there was a guy that I worked with who ran, and he said, "Yeah, I ran that one before. It's pretty hard. It's hell to get ready." And I said, "Yeah, I run around Alliance. Everywhere is uphill." No, it was hilly. It was bad. Actually, at one point, I had been going up a hill for about a half a mile, a big one. And the next part of it was you turned and went the other way up the hill. And I got up and there was a lady directing people. I said, "Man, I loved that hill so much. I just want to run some more of it," joking around. And she goes, "Well, are you running the half or the full?" I said, "The half." She goes, "Turn around and keep going."
Yeah, that hill was pretty brutal. So that was Youngstown Half Marathon 2021, right?
2020.
No, it was 2021. Or was it 2020?
It's 2021, so I've only been running for
Yeah.
3 years.
And what was funny about that one is that I hadn't ran a half marathon since the spring of 2019, which would have been the Canton one, and that's the only one that Dad has beat me in. But that's because I was severely out of running shape.
Well, speaking of Dad, while I was running that marathon, a funny story is we get to about, I think, mile 7 or 8, and I said, "Dad, I'm feeling really good." I said, I'm just gonna get going," and we were running about like an 8:50 pace or something, and I started booking it, and I started running like an 8 or 8:10, and he goes, "All right, see you at mile 11." Well, the funny thing about it is at mile 11 there actually was. What are you doing?
Keep going.
Well, the funny thing about it is at mile 11 there was a little porta potty or like a little bathroom in the park, and I had to go pee really bad. And I went in there and it took me like 2 minutes to pee, and I come back out. And as soon as I'm coming out, guess who runs up the hill? It's my dad. I catch up with him. He goes, "Told you I'd see you at mile 11."
Yeah, I think I visited that porta potty. That was the one that was right off to the left side, right?
Yeah, that's right. I forgot. You lost the footage of that. We ran with GoPros.
I didn't. I didn't lose the footage. I waited so long to do anything with it that
you deleted
I
it.
deleted it. Yeah, I'm really mad at myself for that.
My first major race, I ran with a GoPro, and that sucked.
Yeah.
Why'd you make me do that?
We had
you didn't even save the footage.
We had mustaches too.
Oh, that's right.
Did Dad make a mustache?
I'm glad you deleted that.
Yeah, that one. I think I ran out of protein powder, and I didn't even think of it. I just went to Aldi and got some of their protein powder, like the day before the race. And so I'm running along. I get to like mile 6 or 7. I'm like, oh man, I gotta go to the bathroom. Just held it. It was about mile 8. I think it's the same one that you went in. And I went in there and I just said, well, there goes my race. So I get out of there. I think I'd been running like 8:30s maybe. Running 8:30s. I get out of the bathroom and I say, all right, I got to make up some time. And I think I started running 7:30s or 7:15s. And it was, again, I wasn't back in total running shape yet because that was my first one back. But that's like when I really started to commit to YouTube. I mean, if you could call it that right now, but
that right now. Yeah, when I was training for that race, we actually had a clip of me doing some speed work, and I'm sitting there breathing hard. He's got the camera in my face. I say, "Get that out of my face. I'm fat right now."
Well, if you, it's funny because that's a callback to.
Is it in one of your videos?
It's in one of my early videos. I think it's like my second or third video.
When
we were at Louisville.
On the screen right here.
Actually, it would be. It would be on the screen right here.
Right here.
But we did some videos of you training too.
Yeah.
Which might be something coming up next year.
I don't know. Comment below if you want to see me train.
Might be a little documentary series about him running his first marathon. Not marathon, half marathon.
I hope so. I want to run a marathon. It's just my knees suck. I need to go figure out where to go to have someone look at them. When I go up,
look at
it. when I go upstairs, it sounds like you're ripping a chicken breast apart every step I take in my knees. It's gross. It's Fabrio scaruslisis.
Okay. I want to talk about now getting back into running? Or no, what? So what was your journey like getting into running the first time? Was that
First time?
after you lost a bunch of weight, or
No, I started running before you did. And then I stopped.
and you stopped?
Yeah, I lived in Louisville in a little apartment, and one day I said, I'm gonna go run. So I went out and ran a mile. I came back and it was 10 minutes. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty good for someone who doesn't run. And then the next day I said, well, maybe I should do 2 miles today. So I did 2 miles. It took me 20 minutes. So I did that for about 4 or 5 days and just kept adding a mile. And my fifth day running, I was running 5 miles, which is probably really bad.
That's why your knees are messed up.
No form, no breathing technique, terrible Walmart shoes. I mean, but I lost my train of thought. The Office.
You're running.
I was running
Walmart shoes.
Walmart shoes, and I did that for a couple weeks, maybe 3 weeks or something, and then I stopped for whatever reason. I think it's because my truck broke down.
Put the mic closer to your face. Yeah, like that.
Anyway, then I stopped doing that. Actually, my first real long run was with at the time, she was my new girlfriend, but she's my wife now. And she said, I run all the time. I go usually 5 miles. I'm like, oh, I'll go with you, being a tough guy. And we walked more than ran, I think. And the funny thing is, she doesn't run now. I do. She hates it. But we went on a 5-mile run. Oh, that killed me. I couldn't even stand up for the toilet for the next 3 days. Oh, I had DOMS so bad after that. But I went out in my truck later, and I was like, that wasn't 5 miles. I ran it in my truck. It was 6.5 miles. So with no preparation or nothing, absolutely no prior training, I ran a 6.5 mile, 5 mile run. It sucked.
It's kind of like
It was middle of the summer too.
it's kind of like Brenton and I's, or mostly Brenton's, half marathon 5K, where he runs the thing, which I skipped this year, by the way, because I didn't want to run.
It's like $45.
Yeah, that's why I ran at Bandit last year.
No, I just went out and ran 5 miles for free.
I didn't run at all that day.
Yeah, I did. I had to justify all the turkey I was about to eat, and then I didn't eat that much. I don't like turkey. I do like turkey, just not in turkey form. Turkey tastes best when it's imitating something else.
Is that what you think about when you run?
Put that on a shirt.
Is that what you think about when you run?
No. I have to ask you this. I have some questions for you.
You said I'd be conducting this interview.
I have some questions for you.
Okay.
All right, and they involve running. Is there anything when you're running? Is there anything that makes you run faster or not think about running? Like, do you ever start thinking about something? Usually the same thing. Like, do you have one thing that you start thinking about and then it just like you just get in the zone?
It's a good question.
I do, and this is gonna be on YouTube forever. And you're gonna laugh at me.
Say it. You say yours first, because I'm not sure what mine is.
Sometimes I see people coming up or like walking a dog or something, and then I just have this weird fantasy where they're gonna start fighting me. So I fight them for about 1.5 miles in my head, and then I start struggling, and then I try to think about fighting someone else, and it doesn't help.
I think mine might be, I don't know. Sometimes I think about a song. You start singing a song. And then it's like,
How about
I mean, sometimes I listen to a podcast, especially if it's at night in the wintertime. I listen to a podcast, and that helps. But if I ever use earbuds, then, and especially if I don't want to go on the run, or like when I'm on the treadmill sometimes, I'm trying to listen to a podcast, and it's just
So-
like it sounds like people are just yelling at or talking at me.
That's a really good segue into my next couple things that I wanted to talk about, which we'll get back to me getting into running and in and out and all that. But let's talk about winter running.
Is this your podcast now?
Yeah, it's my podcast.
Okay.
It's the second episode.
Oh,
And-
okay.
And so
I was
took it.
I was the host on the first episode.
Yeah, you're the host on the
Just
first
covering
episode.
for you.
Yeah. So anyway, as I was saying, winter running. Let's talk about
Sucks.
winter running because it's winter running.
It sucks.
All right, let's
It's
go to the
terrible.
next subject.
That's it. Thanks for tuning into the podcast this week.
Winter running. How do you motivate yourself to go out and run, whether it be on the treadmill or outside?
You have to be in a cycle of doing it, of running.
Yeah.
That's why that's why it's so hard for people to run in the wintertime. Like a lot of runners who don't have who like keep a consistent base after a fall race, big fall race, like a marathon, half marathon,
Yeah.
whatever. They take, because that's what I'm doing right now. I wanted to get back into lifting. And so I think I've ran like 3 or 4 times since the marathon. It's been a month. Yeah. Well, almost a month. Yeah.
See, I haven't been running as much lately. I've been trying to be in the gym and work on my knees that suck. But I have run a couple times. I try to run at least once, usually twice or 3 times a week. I won't go very far, but I'll go out and run. But the cold, it sucks. What do you like worse, or what do you like better?
What do I like worse?
What do you like? What's worse for you? Is it worse when you layer up and you go out for a run and you end up being really hot, or is it worse when you go out and you don't have enough layers and you're cold?
I think the worst thing is putting on all the clothes, no matter
Yeah.
whether I'm too cold or too hot.
Yeah.
Because you got to spend 20 minutes doing that. And then you have like a favorite shirt that you like to wear as the base layer, and you can't find it, so you're trying to find it. And then you put one on, you're like, it's like a little bit too tight, but I'm not sure. Maybe I'll it'll feel good after the first, and the whole first mile, you're kind of going like this.
Ugh, the first mile sucks too in the cold, because your lungs have to get used to the cold, and it's like it's worse than a regular first mile.
Hey, do you want to run 25 Ks for Christmas today? This year? Not this today.
25 Ks.
Yeah.
What's 25 Ks?
That's just over a half marathon. Last year I did a marathon.
on Christmas? That
Maybe
takes away from,
maybe Christmas Eve. Christmas
How
Eve.
about
Or the Friday
maybe.
before Christmas. What's Christmas on today? This time. Oh shoot. I said it again. This year. This one.
Wednesday, I think. It is Wednesday, my dudes. We're really off topic. I can't remember.
Yes,
what
we
we're
are.
talking
Winter
about.
running.
Winter running. Oh, yeah. Do you hate the treadmill or the cold more?
I've grown akin to the treadmill.
Well,
I didn't like it, but I really just the last 2 years I did winter training and I hated it.
one time I was at the Y running and I had to run like 7 miles or something. I got like 3 miles into it and I said, "This sucks." So I walked out the Y doors and ran like a mile one way and a mile back. I got like a third of a mile in and I'm like, "This sucks even worse," because it was like 20 degrees and I was wearing shorts and a tank top.
I scared one of the girls at the Y. Oh my gosh. It was sometime early this year, like right after I started working there. I was getting the rest of my miles in. I think I had like one more mile and I was running it around the parking lot. And the one girl comes out and she got scared.
That's funny.
What's your worst part about the running in the wintertime?
The cold sucks, I guess, but once you're running, it's not so bad. I think. I don't like the wind, but I think the worst part about winter running is the dark. I'm not a morning runner. I don't like waking up and running in the morning. My body's just not stretched out and ready to go. And so I have to run at night. I mean, I don't have to run at night. I just don't feel awake enough to run in the morning. Everything's like creaky and poppy.
Yeah, but
I don't know what I'm trying to say here.
See, it's that way too in the nighttime, though.
No, and I like working out and running in the night because I've had a whole day for my body to get like loosened up.
Yeah, but if you wait till after, then you're more likely to say, I'll just kind of do it tomorrow.
It's not me. If I say I'm going to do it, I just do it. Unless I don't feel good. If I don't feel good, then I'll sometimes I force myself to go run or work out, but
I like morning runs because the problem with morning runs is you have to get up like really early.
my gut can't handle it.
Because when I get up for races, I usually get up at like 4:30. Up at 4:30, 4:30, immediately start drinking coffee, and then about an hour after that, or no, on race day, it's like 2 hours after that I start running, 2.5 hours.
Yeah, I don't
The
feel
hard
like,
part about weekday morning runs is you have to get up and at them and then try to start running like 45 minutes after you drink some coffee.
I don't feel like waking up
And you have to
at
eat
the butt
and you
crack
have to.
of dawn.
But the cool thing is you get done and you feel like you're better than everybody else.
Yeah. I mean, I like working out in the morning. I don't like working out heavy in the morning, though. But I mostly don't like working out in the morning most of the time for the reason that I feel like I'm being rushed. If I want to go do something, I want to do it comfortably. If I'm going to do the uncomfortable thing, I want to do it on my time. I don't want to get up and go to the gym and say, well, I have exactly this much time to do it before I have to go home and take a shower and go to work.
Yeah, because then it makes it unenjoyable.
Yeah, it's especially if you're lifting heavy, because then you feel rushed. You don't feel like you can get enough sets into, what do you call those?
Rest?
No, the warm up sets.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to rush through all that, and it's not good.
I tell you, one time when I was working in Canton, I had to be there starting to work at 7, so I had to be there like 6:55. I woke up really early and I went to the gym and I did a Jeff Nippard workout.
What time did you get there?
I was late. I was like 5 minutes. I was
something?
like 5 or 6 minutes late.
I'm 5 or 6 minutes late all the time.
I did it as fast as I possibly could with like the number of rests or whatever, but
Jeff Nippard sucks.
yes. But
Yeah, I know.
but
I know.
guess what I pulled today? I told
What'd
you,
you
didn't
pull today?
Guess what I pulled today?
Just tell me.
3 dinner plates, baby. What?
Guess what I ate today?
3 dinner plates, baby.
baby. Actually, no. I had a
Steak.
What kind of steak was it? It wasn't New York strip. No, it wasn't a porterhouse either. I don't know. I don't remember.
Me either. I'd like to get some za though. Have you ever eaten pizza and then ran?
No, but I've ran and I ate pizza, and that's good.
I've done it the other way around. It's not very fun.
Have you ever ate pizza while you were running?
No, but I ate an ice cream cone while I was running.
Yes, you did.
When was that?
Oh,
Like 2018 or something?
that's
right?
before I started running. You and Dad were on your
No,
way home, and
it
I
was
had
just
to,
me.
No, it was Dad was there
Oh,
too.
he was?
Yeah,
I don't remember. We were running down Fernwood past
me and,
Chase Bank.
Yeah, me and Kinsey had just gone to McDonald's and got dollar ice cream cones, and we're driving by, and I see you running. I just said, "Hey," and just held it out the window. So you grabbed it and took yourself a bite.
That's pretty good.
That'd be awesome.
They should have a race that's like that, where you run to different ice cream spots, and it's like half a scoop of each, like their best flavor.
It's like the beer one where you drink a beer and run.
Yeah.
We should probably get back into some meat and potatoes. I have a feeling you're going to cut most of that out.
Maybe not. I really don't want to edit too much.
Long form.
Yes. Joe Rogan, baby. So, tell me, get back to your starting your running. Why do you think you get out of it?
This doesn't feel like a podcast. It feels like an interview.
That's what a podcast is, kind
I
of.
guess so.
Why do you think you get out of it?
My knees, mostly. Or my knees will get hurt. Actually, I think no, there was a couple times where I had some stuff going on with the other side of the family and a lot going on in my life, and everything was so busy that I kind of just walked away from it on accident, and that sucked. And then the other times I've done it, I've just been inconsistent, really. But the other times I've done it, it's because my knees. I'll hurt my knees or I'll hurt my feet or something, and I'll just take a couple weeks off to rest and get better. And then a couple weeks turns into, I'll run on Monday. And then I'll run on Monday turns into, I'll just start next week. And then
I thought you said that if you say you're going to do something, you do it.
Yeah. Well, when I'm in the groove, when I'm being disciplined,
You got to grease the groove.
grease the groove.
Is that what it's called?
Second shift?
Greasing the groove?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's greasing the groove. And motion is lotion. Got to grease the groove.
I don't know. Well, the last time I was at the chiropractor, he said that he thinks that I have extra connective tissue in my knees that act kind of like a tendon and snap across my fibula. What do you call the meniscus? I don't know. Your knee.
Is that before or after you drink Carbulites?
I forgot I made that word. Carbulites.
Do you have any questions for me? Ask me questions. I forgot. I didn't write stuff. I wasn't prepared for this. This was on the spot.
Okay. How come you stopped running?
When?
I don't know. Well, I know.
After college or when?
Why do you run?
Because I wanted to beat Glenn Davidson in the half marathon.
Did you do it?
Yes, I did.
And how many snacks did he pack?
Yes, he did.
1 or 2 stops to the porta potty.
I didn't stop at the porta potty that entire
No,
time.
I'm talking about him.
I don't know. He probably had one on him.
Yeah. Pulled it out of his little nest. I've never run with Glenn. Thank God, but
I don't know if he runs anymore.
I don't know. Who knows? So who's Glenn?
So Glenn is the girl that I used to date 9 years ago. It's her dad.
Glenn's the girl you used to date 9 years ago?
It's her dad. You didn't let me finish my statement, but it's her dad. And he started running because his buddy started running because they had a
It's because he was fat.
Biggest Loser contest. He's like, oh, I want to start running because Jeff was his friend. He ran the Flying Pig marathon or the Air Force marathon or something. And then Glenn's
Well-
like, so anyway,
Sidebar, I'm sure everyone who watches your channel is probably a runner or a fitness person, so
yeah,
they already know this, but if you're not, running is a terrible way to get in shape.
it
If you want to lose weight, running is not the way to do it.
It is. Bang for buck resistance training is the best. Jeff Nippard.
But running is addictive. Oh, once you hit like mile 6 or 7 and your heart rate's like right where it needs to be, you're going
just
down
going
the hill.
along and you're just...
And then all of a sudden,
then your watch
you like,
beeps or you snap
out of it.
You're just like, huh.
It's like you're going, and then you look down at your watch and you're like, man, I ran 2.5 miles without thinking about it. And that's what we chase.
Yeah.
I love that feeling. Today I ran and it was cold and I hated it. And I was actually a little overdressed, so it was cold, but I was warm. But I'm finally to the point where I don't have to think about running. I just let my body do what it needs to do. And I start thinking about other things as I'm going, like probably fighting a guy, but no, I didn't think about that tonight, but I did notice I had a cramp and my foot was hurting and whatever was going on, but like I wasn't thinking about it because my body was just in motion and the machine was going, but my head got, and that's the other thing I love about running, my head got to just start thinking about other stuff. And I kind of, running is good. When it's hard, it's good. And when it's easy, it's good.
Did you have any problems that you solved in your head?
I don't know. I thought about eating steak, and then I ate steak. But I saw some good Christmas lights too. That's the one good thing about early winter running.
Wait, where did you run? Did you run back?
I did
over
the
there?
hospital loop,
Oh, you did.
but reverse of what you like to do. But yeah, running is like awesome.
Wow, I'm gonna clip that one for a short form.
No, it's really cool because I started running because I was depressed or whatever, and I wanted to do something hard. And when you do a hard run like that, the only thing you can think about is your next step. And so when it's hard and you're having a hard time, you don't get to think about other stuff in your life that sucks.
Yeah.
And when it's easy, you don't think about other stuff in your life that sucks because you're having a good time.
Yeah. That's what I like about running. That's what I like about exercise in general and pushing hard. But running in specific, it's like when you're doing a track workout or whatever, you're in the middle of a race, you're just like, nothing else matters right now.
Yeah. It's so good.
Yeah. That's how it was in the marathon.
It sucks so good.
That's how it was in the race that I just did. It was like,
Speaking of, you freaking smoked that thing. What was your time? 3 dinner plates.
this is coming out after. This is coming out before I have my race video.
Oh, so just bleep it.
Yeah, it's my time was 2:38.
You heard it here second.
Actually, that's what it was really funny. I sent it to all my friends. Garmin's like race predictor thing.
Uh-huh.
I don't know where it got its values from, but it said I should be able to run a 2:38.
That's, you know what? I'm disappointed in you.
Yeah, I'm disappointed too.
I'd be happy to run a 2:38 half right now.
Do you think?
I'm a slow runner.
Do you think? Well, Heath has gotten me to believe that anyone can run a 3-hour marathon. Any guy.
Maybe.
I think the most percentage of men could run it.
Well, only, what is it? Less than 1% of people have run a marathon anyway.
Yeah.
So And I am not one of those.
But it's not that they can't. It's just that they don't explore it. They don't explore it and train for it and try it.
Yeah, but that takes up so much of your life.
Yeah.
Even just training for a half marathon the way
Yeah,
I
but
did.
so does watching TV for 4 hours a night.
Yeah.
Except that's just an easier thing to do.
It's an easy thing that makes your life harder.
Yeah. The easy road will get hard and the hard road will be easy. Or there's a saying like that, I think.
Yeah, choose your hard. It's hard to be fat and it's hard to be fit. Something like that.
I'm fat right now.
But your race, how did it... Usually you say mile 18 or whatever. Everyone says mile 18 is where you like start sucking. How did you push through that?
There's a very funny... I want to say the story, but I have to wait until because I'm going to talk about it in my race video, but...
Okay, well, you can talk about that in your race video. I didn't know you were making a race video.
Yeah, so anyway, it wasn't until about mile 22. Well...
At what point in the race did you know you were going to hit your goal? So, I mean, you always go out hot.
So my A goal was like 3:05. If I could have ran a little bit faster. B goal was 3:07 because that's what everything said I should be able to run. Mm-hmm. C goal was under 3:10. So I got my I knew that if I walked away with under a 3:10 that I'd be really happy because that's 13 minutes faster than my...
Yeah, but at what point in the race did you know you were gonna I'm feeling good, this is the time to do it, baby?
Well, during my warm up, I knew it was gonna be a very hard day.
Yeah. Was it a hard race or
I honestly
did you just push through it?
I just pushed through it.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't I felt all right, but there was never a time where I felt like it wasn't. So when you run and you try to go for a PR or whatever, there's a certain, you don't want to go above threshold, because if you run at threshold for too long, then your body's just gonna go
wall.
Yeah. So
well, you should be able to run at 238.
And the wall, yeah. And the wall is different for everybody. It's either muscle failure, it's you get hungry, which I got hungry at Akron last year.
Ugh.
Mile 20, I started to get hungry because I underfueled. It's muscular, underfueling, mental. Most of the time it's mental. That's what it was for me. Well, that and I think undertraining too.
I've never run a marathon.
The last 5 or 6.
All of the longest runs I've ever run were every time, if I've had to stop, it was always because of physical. Because I feel I don't know, I've never gotten into crazy high miles or anything, but once you get past a certain mileage and you're just your body's going and you just get it in your head that this is what I'm doing now. And I feel like the mental thing has never really been a problem for me. But like I said, I've never run crazy high miles. Mine is more muscle fatigue. My legs stop running.
Yeah.
They just feel like
well,
lead.
that's when I was trying to train for sub 3, but the one video I did where I just stopped 3 miles short of 20. Because I was supposed to do 5 miles at 6:45 pace or whatever.
You just couldn't do it.
And I got to 2.2 miles into that section. I was like, I can't push my legs any faster. My legs are literally just slowing down.
Yeah. That sucks.
But back to the race, I knew that I was at least breaking 3:10. I knew when I ran across the start line, I was breaking 3:10.
How did it feel when you ran across, or were you just too exhausted to really take in the moment? Did that come later, or was it right at
Going across the finish line?
Yeah.
I mean, going across the finish line of every marathon is euphoric in a way because it just sucks.
Yeah.
And it's always the last like 4 to 6 miles that suck the most because that's after you hit the wall and you either know if you're feeling good or not.
That's
And
when
it's just like
all the fatigue hits.
it hurts. You have to push, and the last 4 miles, I think.
From what you say, they're always uphill no matter what race it is.
Yeah.
Why do they do that?
The last 4 miles of Indianapolis, I think I dropped down to a 7:30 to 7:35. But
My
I kept
fastest
telling
mile ever.
myself, I was like, you can't go past this. I think I had a 7:38.
My fastest mile ever was 7:35.
Yeah.
And you ran a whole marathon less than that.
Well, see, that's funny because I feel like I'm slow compared to people like my buddy Brennan and Nick Murphy.
Yes, but I don't think you
And-
realize this. You're an elite athlete.
No,
You're an elite?
no,
Yeah.
I'm not even sub elite yet.
You're there.
Sub elite is
You're on the
like
threshold.
sub elite is like 230, 240.
Gee whiz.
But mile 22 is where I kind of mentally broke a little bit. And that's where I was like, this hurts a lot.
Yeah, but
Hurts
you
a
did it.
lot. I'm gonna keep going. I can't walk. I can slow down a little bit because I know I'm gonna break my goal, and I'm really like glad that I didn't mentally break this whole time. And I'm not breaking. I'm just slowing down a little bit because I'm kind
What
of
was your
aware.
heart rate for most of the race?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I mean, my watch kept track of it, but
It's your watch. Well, the watch has got to be within
I
like
was
10,
redlining
right?
the whole time.
The whole time?
The whole time.
Wow.
And that's not a good way to race. Like next time I run a marathon,
You
I'd
ran
like to be
26 miles. And what do you
Well,
think? What
my-
if you estimate? What do you think it was? Like 185 or something?
close to the end. It was probably ticking up close to 175, 180. But it was probably pinned at 172 to 176
Yeah,
because that's about threshold for me.
that is not threshold for you.
Yeah,
It's got to be higher.
that's what threshold is for me. I know for
I'm thinking max.
someone like Eric Floberg, he said that. Do you know who he is? Yeah, that's right. You should. Anyway,
He's featured on your channel before.
oh yeah, that's right. Twice.
Yeah.
Wait, no, once. Oh, I don't remember. Anyway, he said that his threshold is like 170. And this is crazy. Like I said, I feel like I'm slow because I was like redlining it for almost the whole race, probably after like mile 5 or 6. And he ran like 5:40s, I think. He ran a 234 something, 233 something.
That's nuts.
And he said his heart rate was like his max heart rate was like 170. Like he hit threshold like at the end. But he was like 165 the whole time.
Man, you got to think some people are just built different. Like,
But
I mean,
he-
I know they train and run
He's
a
also
lot,
he's
but
the last like 3 or 4 years he's also done like 2 marathons a year, and he's not gotten injured, and he's just had really successful builds every single time.
yeah,
I mean that's finally what happened to me this year. Is I had really
he didn't get injured.
I had a successful one for Cleveland, even though I just mentally the race was hot and mentally I gave up. But I had a really good build. I mean, I ran a PR in the half marathon, and then ran another PR in the half marathon at Akron. I just had a really good build. And I know that for me, I'm not the kind of person that can just mentally push through. I know that I have to have the fitness. Otherwise, I'm not confident that I'm going to be able to do it.
Yeah, but that's how you are with everything.
Well, someone like Heath, the machine.
Yeah,
I don't know how he pushes through. I don't know how.
that guy's a beast. Didn't he run 100 miles in 18 hours?
18 hours, 6 minutes. The machine.
What is that, like a 10-minute pace?
Something like that.
That's ridiculous.
10 times 8. I don't remember what pace it was. But they made a documentary about the other guy, Ben Blankenship, who he got second. But it was actually pretty cool. The whole story about it is he was on the U.S.
Yeah, I
track
remember
thing,
something about
and
that.
then he was like, I want to do something else. So he put in like serious training in Oregon, and
And he wasn't a distance runner before that?
I mean, he was like track, like 5K stuff.
Yeah, but that's not distance.
Yeah, 10K. But yeah, he came out and I think he came in like 40 minutes after Heath did, which on that course.
Was that his first?
Yeah.
Wow, that's
I mean, he's
amazing.
probably going to be a force to be reckoned with.
That's awesome.
But it's the same elevation not profile, but the same elevation gain as Leadville. It's just not at altitude. And you don't do a 3,000 foot.
I'm getting tired. We never talked about me getting back into running.
Yeah.
It sucks, don't do it, just keep running. If you get injured, do the freaking...
What? Well, what brings you back? Like, what makes you, like, in your mind switch and say, I need to get back to running? Fat? That's it?
No, I always liked running, and even when I don't run, I want to run. I joined a Facebook group called Runners Loving Running, and people post on there all the time.
Dad, stop laughing. You'll get your time.
Yeah. So that's what it's called, Runners Loving Running, and they post in there. And I saw people posting there's things about running, and just kind of was like, I want to start again. And so I did, and I was heavy. That sucked. So then I ran more and started working out and eating better, and I don't know. This next year, every year I say this, but this year I want to run a marathon. I just have to figure out what's going on with my knees. And maybe not ramp up the miles so fast. Last time that was bad.
Yeah, maybe you should do like 20 weeks, like get a good base, like 20 to 30 miles a week.
Well, not that much, but
and then you should probably go on like a 20-week plan.
Do you remember what happened to me? We were probably we had to be a couple months out from Akron, and I didn't sign up yet because I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to.
Oh, at the trail.
But yeah, I had started, and I swear to you, I'm pretty sure Newton's has something to do with it. I'm telling you.
Newtons are the best shoe ever, forever. Actually,
if you're a psychopath,
I'm gonna say this. I kind of want to explore other shoes because Newtons for a marathon, you get to like mile 18, 20, starts to hurt your feet. But I mean, that's what happens in a marathon. Your feet get hurt.
You need the Saucony Vapor Flies or whatever.
No, I need the Puma ones.
You need this. What's the Saucony one? They have
Saucony Endorphin Elites.
Endorphin Elites.
No, I need to get the Puma RB. You see those?
No.
They're called the Puma RB, and they look disgusting.
They all look bad. Every single one of them performance shoes look like you're standing on, I don't even know, like a banana or something.
Marshmallows or something.
Yeah.
You think that's going to go?
3 dinner plates.
3 dinner plates, baby.
What was I saying? Oh yeah, we were at the Maslin Towpath, and I was gonna run 17 miles that day. The week before I had run 15. The week before I had run 13, and I had that week before I ran 15. That's the longest I'd ever run, and I was going out to I was going to do a 17-mile thing. I went 6 out, and I was on my way 6 back, and then I was going to do a 2.5 out, 2.5 back. And I was booking it. I felt great. I was running comfortably at like an 8:15, 8:20 pace. I get 6 miles out. I'm feeling really good. I get like 2 or 3 miles back. I'm feeling good. Then about mile 10, I don't know what it is about mile 11, but about mile 10, I'm like, man, my knees are starting to irritate me. And then as soon as my watch beat for mile 11, it's like I took a step, and each step I took with my knee, I took 2 steps and stopped because it felt like someone hammered a railroad tie into the side of my knees. And I was like, that hurts. I'll just push through it. And I tried to go again, and I couldn't. Tried to go, couldn't. I think that was runner's knee that time. But I walked back, and we drove separate, and I left you. And I sent you a text message, but you were out on the.
That's before
like 3 or 4.
That's before
I
was introduced to half tights, and I didn't have my phone in my half tight pocket. Now, whenever I run with my half tights, I usually take my phone.
I can't stand my phone.
You got to get some half tights.
No, I can't. I don't like them tight.
You don't like the short shorts.
No,
and you don't like chafing. You got to try some half tights.
Maybe I'll try them. But as I was saying, I got to mile 11. I had to walk the last mile back, and that sucked. And then I was like, I'll just wait a couple of days and see what happens. Well, I ended up waiting about a week. A week goes by, and I'm like, I'm just going to go out and run a little 3-mile run and, start getting back into it. And I left, and I don't know, have you ever noticed that when you take a week break, you feel really good when you go out to run? Oh, I love it. But I went out to run, and I got about mile and a quarter in, and the same thing happened. I took 2 steps, and it's like instantly my knees hurt so bad, and so I had to walk back from that, and it sucked. And then I just couldn't run anymore for a while, and then I just stopped.
Yeah, you did say that, or maybe you didn't say it. I don't know, but I knew that it was either 2 things, like you had an emergency, or like your wife called you and you had an emergency, you had to leave, or like something bad happened.
It was my knees. I wish my knees were good. They're just not good.
I remember that day too, because that day I had to go from there. I went to Cuyahoga back to the area where Burning River was, because I did an interview.
Oh, that's right.
With Brenton and Sarah that took way too long. I asked way too many questions, and that's still a project that's in the catacombs that I have to bring out and edit.
It's hard to go back to old footage and
but
the inspiration's not there anymore.
I need to put that story together because it's special. But
that's the one he finished, right?
Yeah.
I have bad experiences with the Maslin Towpath. Do you remember that year we went canoeing?
I have good experiences with it. Hold on, hold your story. The first year I ran, I think it was the first time I ran 20 miles. It was the first year it was my first year of running, and I went there because that's where Glenn and I went one time, and Glenn and Dad and me went there. And no, the one time it was me and Dad, and I ran 20, and I think he did like 11 or something. And I said, Dad, I had for the Goodyear half, that year they gave out this like long skinny towel that said like Goodyear on it.
Uh-huh.
And so I said, Dad, can you find someone and get that towel out of the car and hold it like a finish line? And it was really special.
Gay.
No, it's not gay. It was special. Shut up.
Yeah, the time before that, the last time before that run that I'd been to the Maslin Towpath, it was my birthday. several years before. And don't you remember this?
Yeah, it's when you had the really
Oh
bad
my
headache.
Gosh, I got up at
No,
8 in the morning.
That was at Canal Fulton.
No, it was at the Maslin Towpath.
Really?
Yeah. It was right. It was right at Second Soul where the livery is, or whatever you call
I
it.
thought that was in Canal Fulton.
No,
That was with Hope Life, right?
no, it was with Al and Nick.
I wasn't there.
You weren't there for that?
The last time I remember was with Hope Life.
No,
we went to
you
Canal
weren't there
Fulton.
for that. Okay, well, I'll tell you the story.
That time you got a headache too.
I don't know. Me and canoes don't mix.
Or maybe Mackenzie did. I don't remember.
Probably Mackenzie. But anyway, back to my story. It was my birthday. I woke up at 8 a.m. I went with a buddy of mine to our boss's house.
Nick.
No, Ryan.
Oh.
Remember him? Anyway, we went there and we cut down like 6 trees. And then at 12 o'clock noon, I left and we went and played 18 holes of golf. And I probably didn't drink enough water and probably had too many barley pops.
You didn't have enough electrolytes either.
No, I didn't.
You didn't
and
even
that
know
brings
what
us to this
you didn't
video's
even
sponsor. No, just
You
kidding.
didn't even know what electrolytes were.
Yeah.
Glibes.
Glibes.
Yeah.
Anyway, so then we played 18 holes of golf and our buddy Nick says, "Hey, which he's been on this channel. He's in the first video.
He was.
Go check it out.
The golf one. Professional amateurs.
But he says, "Hey, we're going canoeing in Maslin. Let's go." We're like, "All right. Well, do you want to do the short 3-mile one, or we do the 5-mile? We do the 5-mile one." And of course, I said, "Well, I don't want to canoe. I don't want to do all the rowing. If I'm going to do all the rowing, I may as well get a kayak." So I got a kayak. Well, between
did you save money on your hotel?
yeah, between the tree cutting, golfing, sun exposure, sunburn, lack of water, and all of the other factors. And then the other part of it too is once it got dark, it got cold.
Beer.
Yeah, beer, yeah. And I stepped out of the what's it called, to pee on the side of the river, and my foot fell down into the water and got wet. So one of my legs was wet. I got back in the boat thing. I'm starting to shiver at this point. I'm starting to see black spots. Oh man, I was projectile vomiting out of that kayak. I had to have Nick tow me for like a mile. And finally it got so bad, man, my head hurts so bad. But I got about a mile away. I said, I'm just going to go. So I just booked it like way faster than everybody else. And I finally made it. And the guy was about to pull the kayak out. I said, don't touch that thing. There's vomit all over the side. Side note, we were about halfway through. It's like 9:30. And this guy pulls up in his van on the road and says, "Hey, you guys need to hurry up. We want to go home." And we're like, "Well, do you have the van? We'll just get out and you can take the canoes back." He's like, "No, like, what do you want us to do? Like, we can't paddle any faster. Like, go get the van and we're 2 miles away from the thing." We're like, is it faster for us to paddle back, or is it faster for you to go get the van and bring it? I can't do that. All right, whatever, man. Some people, but
All right.
Anyway.
I want to wrap this up, land the plane, with asking 3 questions.
That's not how you land a
I don't
plane.
know what those 3 questions are going to be, but 3 final questions. Number 1, what's your favorite running shoe you've ever ran in?
New Balance 1080 version 11, 10D.
To the size?
Wide, baby. They're amazing. The version 12 sucked. The version 13s, I haven't run in them, but I tried some on and they're nice.
Well, you can't say you like them if you didn't run in them yet.
They're nice. What's your favorite running shoe? Wait. Newton. 8. Fate
Newton
8.
Fate. Yep.
Yep.
Actually, I'm running in 9s. I probably got about 100 miles left in those until I hit about 700 or something miles.
Do you run like 200 or 300 miles more in a shoe than you should? I think everyone probably does that.
No, those shoes, they hold up.
I know, but do you ever get to a point where you're like, man, these are starting to go, but you knew that they were starting to go and they're already gone, and you're just like, I can get another 100 miles out of these bad boys. I did that on my Saucony. What did I have? Not endorphins. They were whatever they were. I ran those.
Kinvaras?
Yeah, I had Kinvara 12s. And
I hated those shoes.
I ran my first half in those. Those shoes probably should have saw 300 miles and then get thrown away.
Those were the...
I probably had 450 miles on those shoes.
Those were the ones where the logo was orange.
They were blue.
They had black. They were blue, like in the back, and they were like
no black
lime green. Yeah, there was.
They were blue and orange. But I liked those shoes a lot and bought a second pair.
And then you didn't like them.
No, I still like them. They're really light. They're good for short runs. I like to wear them on short runs, but those are lime green.
I had the Kinvara 6 and the Kinvara 9, and they both felt like they were slapping the pavement, and the energy was just going. All right, question number 2.
Not with my New Balance.
Question number 2. What is your favorite post-run meal?
Well,
Or drink?
I will say that peanut butter milkshake we got that one time was really good. It was when we did. It was my first time ever running 8 miles.
Oh,
we got to about mile 6, and I was like, "Man, I think I'm done." And you're like, "No, if you make it to mile 8, we're going out and we're getting peanut butter milkshakes at Doug's."
Yeah, we used to get those after tennis in high school.
Now, I will say this. If you get the Hudsonville triple peanut butter something whatever from Meyer and put some milk in there and blend it up, it tastes like a peanut butter milkshake from Doug's. It's really good.
What's your favorite drink? This is question 2B. Favorite drink after a run?
Beer.
It's not a Polar?
Ooh, Polar. That's a toss-up between them. Sometimes I like an ice-cold Polar because it just hits you just right. But sometimes a
Here, hold that up.
good,
Hold that up.
This week's sponsor is Polar.
Seltzer water?
Seltzer water.
Seltzer.
Family made since 1882.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It sells good. That'd be cool to be sponsored by them.
And they send you like a bunch of it all the time.
Yes.
All right, what's the third question?
Third question is if there's any race that you could do that you could automatically be prepared for, which one would it be?
I don't really, to be honest, I don't care about races. It's not something I care about, really. I'd say probably the Akron Marathon, I guess, because it's everybody's first race in our family. Like, big one, first marathon, but...
Get ready to get effed, buddy.
Yeah.
It's a hard race.
I don't care about races. I feel like if I want to go out and run a long distance, I'll just go do it for free.
No, but there's something about races where there's a lot of people.
Yeah, but I don't like people. So.
Oh, you'll like it.
I ran the Hall of Fame half, remember?
If you don't like people, you should run Chicago.
And I got a massive headache. That sucked because we trained in like 30-degree weather and then it ended up being almost 80 for the race somehow.
Yeah. And I feel bad for Jim Chaney, the director, because they had to keep on changing it every single year of the course because Canton construction roads were terrible.
Yep.
But that year, I don't think they had enough people, and maybe I just missed the water station.
I don't think you did because even for the 13 miles that I ran, there was only like 4.
Yeah.
Which that doesn't seem like enough.
Yeah.
There should have probably been one every mile.
There was supposed to be one, I think, at 18 miles. And I dumped.
That's critical.
I dumped my G1M Sport packet in. Of course, the packets are like this big.
Yeah.
They're not like little sticks. So I dump it in, and I'm running along. I'm like, oh, okay, all right. Water station's coming up.
That's kind of
Water
like,
station's coming up.
bad.
Where's the water station? Mile 19, mile 20, mile 21. We finally get to that one park where you turn, you go all the way down Stadium Park, and then you turn around, and you come all the way back. It wasn't until mile 23, and that's when Dad had the camera.
Oh,
And
yeah.
he like had slow shuttered. So
Yeah, he came up to me, funny enough, mile 11.
was that mile 11 or was that like mile 7?
He came up to me I think he came up to me at mile 7. I'm not sure if that's
It's like
he said.
It's all really bright. It looks funny. I can't.
He said
help you
it
right
looks
now.
all cartoony, and I don't know what to do. And I said, Dad, I can't help you with that right now.
Oh, I thought
I had the frame rate down to like 2.
No, it was the shutter speed.
Oh, the shutter speed. Yeah,
I
that's
thought
what
I
it
had
was.
pressed the lock button. Maybe he must have pressed it on accident when he went to press record.
But he's like, it's doing all this thing. Can you help me? I'm like, Dad, I can't help you right now.
Yeah.
It was about that time where my head started hurting. Oh, that sucked.
But you only had 2 miles left.
Yeah, and I pushed through it, and then we went to McAllister's, a gross sandwich shop that Dad likes. I was thinking that he might say something.
Yeah, McAllister's isn't that good.
No. And I had a nasty headache.
Their mac and cheese was pretty all right though.
Yeah.
Except there's not enough.
Remember when you won a pie and I won $20 worth of sports stuff
Yeah.
in that place?
And then Dad got the door prize.
Yeah. Yeah, Dad got a towel and a round of golf.
It was the 4th of July race 2020 or 2021.
No, see, Dad won a towel.
Battery exhausted.
Well, I guess that's it.
Well, the camera just died, so that's going to be the end of this episode of the podcast. Wave to that camera. Thanks.
Might be on you.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for tuning in, and thank you, Levi, for the conversation. Maybe next time I have you on, that it'll be a little more. Oh, cool! You're right there. It'll be a little more planned out, and that's gonna be it for this one. And I'll see you in the next run.
We gotta do it.
Do what? Oh, that's right. We got a hug. That sounded like a fart.